So, I guess we can start. Welcome. This is the Perl BOF, Use Perl, the annual meeting of the Debian Perl Group, which we have been doing since 2008, I believe. So this year, Nick Morrott, also known as Knowledge Junkie, has registered it because he had more time than me at this point, but he can't be here. So I'm again the one whose laptop is plugged into the projector. Yeah, you probably have seen the copy doc, but it's also on the screen behind me. And I would like to start with the first organizational questions. So, who would be willing to take notes in the copy document, and who would be willing to monitor IRC channels in case someone wants to join remotely?
I can take notes.
Okay.
Maybe.
Tam volunteers to take notes. Thank you.
With one eye I can take notes, and with the other.
Okay, with the right eye he takes notes, and with the left eye he also monitors IRC. Excellent. So you don't have anything to do except for participate. Oh, excellent. So now we have 3 video people here and 4 people sitting in the middle. Good. Yeah, introduction part 2. Maybe not everyone here or on the stream knows everyone. We also have a new face here in the group. So we might introduce ourselves briefly. Maybe just saying who we are and what our relationship is to the Perl Group. Do you want to begin, Leonardo? And take the microphone, please.
Yeah, it's my first, it's my second DebConf, and the second DebConf. Ereniku presented for me the Perl can, and I began in the Perl Q package. I like it. I promise. Excuse. I forgot the word. As mean. I don't begin in one kim later. Ereniku and inside me in the virgin, but I started I'm working in this package, and I learned documentation, and I like it, and it's very good. Thanks. I thanks for starting the can. It's good. It's good.
Thank you, and thanks for joining the team. It's always good to have new members.
Oh, thanks.
Thank okay, maybe you can pass the microphone on.
Hello. Yes, I'm Martin Behrens. I've been a Perl user for many years and have attended Debian conference, but haven't really made contact with the team closely, but I attended some of your previous BOF sessions also. So I'm hoping to get closer this time. And yeah, so in fact, just an hour ago, I was down in the Noisy lab looking inside the logic of task cell, which is one of the Debian tools written in Perl, and someone else was proposing some minor changes to it, but had very little Perl experience. So I think sometimes it is just being able to read the Perl code and explain it to someone else. And so that's what I was doing. So yeah, it was enjoyable. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
My turn. The light is on, maybe the mic is on too. All right, I'm Damian. I'm a long-time Perl contributor, and recently I'm sort of returning back to my previous level of work, which feels very nice. We'll see how long this goes, but I hope it does. So, yeah, I'm glad to see there is not much to do, because somebody is doing most of the work. But yeah, nice to see many people here in person again after so long.
Yeah, thanks, Damian. Damian is really a long-term member of the group. Another one has written some notes in Gobi because he can't join remotely. That's Etienne Mollier. And he writes that he has joined in 2020 when he needed some Perl packages for the Debian Med team and stayed around, which is an understatement because he is very active nowadays, working a lot on auto package tests and also often participates in the low-hanging fruit sessions. So, Etienne, if you maybe see this afterwards, thanks to you. Yeah, and my name is Gregor Herrmann, Gregor. I'm also a member of the Perl team since 2006, I believe, so roughly as long as Damian. Good. Next point on the agenda is the agenda. Just wanted to ask if it's okay, the topics I've put up so far, or if there's anything to add or to change or something. Okay, so.
If I might, the last topic seems unjustifiably vast because it's pretty important in my mind. The new Perl version that is about to hit unstable in a couple of months.
Well, I mean,
so maybe we can rearrange that a bit up.
Okay, so I'd still start with the team status and maybe then we make Perl 536. Is that okay?
Yep.
Good. And I think it will be a short pointer, but yeah, it's an important point.
Pretty important.
Okay, so team status. There is this page in the Debian wiki with some statistics, which I updated again for this year. So one thing is running this committer stats script from our script repository, which just counts how many people have made how many commits in all our repositories. So the first column is the number of persons which made at least one commit in the last 365 days, which has, well, dropped to 40. The next column is the number of persons with more than 100 commit, which is back up to 10 again after it dropped last year drastically. As a side note, I have not counted the Debian janitor, which makes a lot of commits because it's, well, a script, not the person. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything to comment on it? Except that we know that these times are a bit unusual and difficult. All right, and the second part is we have these low-hanging fruit sessions where we meet on IRC once a month to do simple but maybe boring tasks, which is more fun if we do them together. And I've also did some, well, I mean, it's all rule of thumb statistics counting in the report. So we had 9 sessions again. One was completely cancelled. There were some sessions with only one participant, so the average number of participants has gone up a bit from last year, but is still lower than in the first year. The number of unique participants is bit low, but that's why the average of sessions per person is a bit higher, because there are not so many people. And yeah, there are people who were there once and people who were there all the time. Yeah, I mean, there have been quite a few sessions where there were like 2 people, which were mostly Etienne and me. I'm not sure what this tells us, but this leads us to the question which we have each year: how do we go on with these low-hanging fruit sessions? Do we continue to do them? And if yes, do we stick to the rhythm of once per month? And it always was the 21st day of the month, and we alternated between 17 o'clock UTC and 19 o'clock UTC. Oh yeah, and last year we said we could use Jitsi additionally to IRC, which we did once, I think, I don't know, December or January or something.
I remember being there once, so if there was no other time.
It was the only session, yeah. Okay, so are there opinions on the low-hanging fruit sessions?
Let's keep them. And maybe this alternative timing can be used to hopefully make it easier for the transatlantic people to attend. I don't know. I mean, one of the timings is okay for Europe and the other to be more suitable for Americas.
That was the original idea, yeah. We haven't got any feedback from people in the Americas in the last year.
If they would like to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what Etienne is writing, he also proposes to continue and asks if the time is all right, but we don't know. I don't know if you would be interested in these IRC sessions, and what would be good. Okay. What would be good times for you if this 5 UTC or 7 UTC works for you?
50 hour PM. We keep the days and time. Okay. Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Well, then let's continue, and we have an action item to put the new dates in the wiki page, which means copying from last year and edit and changing the year. Good. So Perl 5.36 is around, was released upstream in May, I believe, like each year more or less.
In Brazil?
Perl 536.
Understand the other thing. No. Okay.
In Debian, it's already in experimental. Nico and Dominic have this perl.debian.net machine where they rebuild and continuously rebuild stuff. So here's also the log to the links. And Nico has filed bugs. Currently there is exactly one open bug in a package which fails to build on all kinds of architectures anyway. So it doesn't look too bad. And Nico wrote on IRC yesterday, or the day before yesterday, that Perl 536 in Debian looks good. There are no known blockers, as there's only this one package which is and he is aiming for a transition in September, so I guess after the summer holidays when everyone is back up to speed. I think if some problem arises, then Nico and Tom will shout and we will help them by fixing bugs or doing NMUs or whatever, but so far it looks quite good. Is there anything else on 536? Nope. Okay, then we have 3 topics which we have been pushing from one year to the next. We started discussing them, or we put them on the agenda in 2019 and then started discussing, and then didn't have time in 2020 and 2021, so we are back to them again, and maybe we can get a step further. So one thing is DGIT. At DebConf 29, some of us started to use DGIT, well, specifically DGIT push source to upload packages. At this time, I think it was Intri who wrote this sentence. We felt it's a bit too early to draw conclusions from it. And yeah, so now it's 3 years later and we have some experience, or some people have some experience. And the question is if we do draw some conclusions from the experience. So Etienne is writing, it has been a bit delicate to get started. Sometimes it doesn't work 100%, but most of the time you can just digit --gpg push source, and most of the time it works, and sometimes you need override, and there are no negative side effects. I also talked to Sean Whitten on IRC or privately, so he's one of the 2 digit people, and he asked me if we could use digit more on the Perl team, and I basically said what Etienne is writing here, and that it's a bit difficult for new packages or building binary. And he said, well, if you just use this for the simple case, for this digit push source, then it's a help to promote digit, and that would be a nice step.
It would be nice for...
For whom?
For whom? Yeah.
For people who would like to use digit for...
Yeah, but
I'm not sure.
What about the people who have more than 100 commits in a year? I mean, is there? It's my impression it works when it does, and there is no negative side effect. Mm-hmm. But what is the positive effect? I mean, because changing your workflow is always a negative to some extent, and there should be some positive to balance the thing and justify the change. Maybe I'm just conservative.
No, excuse me. I totally see your point. So I'm also not excited about digit from a consumer point of view, and I also don't really see positive effects. So it's just maybe there are people who would like to have the archive represented in this digit git view, and we can help those people by typing digit instead of dpush.
Well, I think others, I just use a small script for uploading, and that script right now uses dupload, and it can be changed to use digit. So it wouldn't be much of a hassle anyway. But I was hoping for some candy on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, I also invited Sean to an LFH session, or maybe to a Jitsi session, to do more promotion for digit and explain it better what the positive effects actually are.
If we must have some conclusion, then I would say, all right. Whoever wants to try it, please do. And, yeah, share the candy. And, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess the conclusion is, as Etienne wrote, and we also experienced it, mostly works and is not a big burden. I mean, we cannot enforce it anyway that everyone uses it, because people are free to choose what they want, and we kind of recommend that people look into it, and if they like it, do it. And maybe also the fourth point, maybe we can try to arrange a session with Sean at some point to learn more about it. Is this a conclusion? Okay, then we have another topic from 2019. On Salsa, there are these Salsa CI pipelines with ready-made recipes, and at this point we were discussing if it makes sense to enable them for some packages or all packages or whatever. So 3 years ago we wrote, it is okay if someone wants to play around with, as long as those people keep an eye on the results and take care of if these pipelines are failing. And that we will look at it again in 2020, so now we have 2022.
Sorry, what does it do? The pipeline runs the tests, builds the package?
So the default pipeline, I mean, you can configure it with all kinds of bells and whistles, but the default pipeline does lots of things in the meantime. It builds the source and binary packages on at least 2 architectures, and then runs, well, Lentian and ReproTest and Biopart and I don't know.
Package testing?
Yeah, right. So I mean,
huge. What can we do with the output of this? Because if nobody looks at the output, it's just...
So that's actually my pain point with this. So I was skeptical 3 years ago what happens with the output, and my impression since then is in the Debian Perl changes channel there are the reports and some. Well, and it gets mailed to the person who pushes the commit and triggers the pipeline.
It does get mailed?
Yeah, at least when it fails. I'm not sure if it gets mailed on success.
Okay, that seems okay.
There seems to be a way to enable these pipelines in some cron-like way, which 2 persons have been doing. So each day I get drawn to these Debian Perl channels to see the same success and also failure reports, and I'm wondering if the persons who set up these cron-like pipelines know it or do something about it. And well, I mean, the other thing is, I'm personally not really convinced that I should wait for something for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, what I can do in the meantime locally, but I know that these pipelines have advantages, like for pull requests or whatever.
It would work more nicely if you can say, okay, here is a commit, please run all the tests on different architectures and whatnot, and then upload. I mean, you just push the commit and go have a coffee and not wait for 15 minutes to stamp it at the end, which it's not very productive.
Yeah. I mean, Etienne writes if it's enabled for a large number of packages, we should try to avoid that. That bulk changes do not trigger. So if we commit something in hundreds of packages, that we don't trigger hundreds of pipeline, but this works with some option for git commit with some option to not run the pipelines. I mean, the other thing is there are several ways to set up the pipelines, so you can put a file in the source package, but you can also do this in the Salsa CI by just writing these recipe things there. In practice, the package which have enabled these pipelines, of course, all do it differently because, So yeah, I don't know if there are any conclusions.
It sounds like more hassle than justified. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, one question would be, do we want to enable this for all packages? And I'm not really convinced that it helps, because it's...
Well, I personally do all kinds of testing before pushing. And
yeah.
Having some tests run after the push is kind of, yeah, they will have my back, but...
yeah.
I mean, the package is uploaded in the meantime, so...
Exactly.
Is this run on each push?
Yeah.
So if I push several times, there could be overlapped pipelines and whatnot. And yeah.
Well, it's not for each it's not per commit, but per push, yeah. But still, yeah. Okay, so we are not enabling this for all packages. I think that's clear. And if someone keeps playing with it, we probably won't stop them. Good. Okay, we have like 18 minutes left. So the next is, well, more for bookkeeping, so that we don't forget about topics. I'm not sure if we can come up with something. We did have a mechanism to check our group membership and to ping people who haven't been active and to ask them if they want to stay in the group, so that we get a more realistic feeling of how many we are actually. As I we used to have, because that was before the switch from Alioth to Salsa, there were scripts running on Alioth and then mail templates. So in 2019, there was the idea to recreate this tooling during DebConf 2020, which didn't happen. Yeah, and it hasn't happened then. I think it's not a pressing issue, but I just wanted to mention it, that this is still an open task, and if someone wants to jump up and say, I'm going to work on this, then that would be cool, and otherwise we talk about it next year again.
Is it in the Open Tasks wiki?
At least indirectly. So in the Open Task wiki is the description how to do this with Alioth, and there's a warning sign, this doesn't work anymore.
Right.
Good, so no one jumping up in the room or on IRC, right? What? Oh, there's Etienne. Hi. Hi, Etienne. I hope you can see and hear us. I hope I have presented your points from Gopi correctly so far. If not, please shout on IRC. Ah yeah, cool. Good. So we have 2 topics left. Git branch name and sprints. I think the sprints are easier. Is it okay if we start with this? So we over the years, we often had one sprint per year where, I don't know, 5, 8 people would meet somewhere, either as a separate event or as part of some larger event. I'm not sure when the last one was, probably 2019 in Hamburg. Yeah, maybe. So in this year there was this Debian reunion in Hamburg, in May, where Damian and Etienne and me were there. We didn't plan this as a sprint, but since we were there, we worked a lot on Perl stuff, and we worked a lot together, and I enjoyed it very much. Last week we have written a short report, where the URL is also in the copy doc. I would like to point out that we made some changes in 2 of our important tools. So one in pkg-perl has gained some functionality in command line switches, and Dam has fixed old bugs and added new functionality. And in the pkg-perl tools package, there are at least 2 new helper scripts. One is dpt prepare, which can be run in a, checked out Git repo before starting to work, importing the upstream release, and the other is dpt fix up to automatically try to fix a couple of things. And I recommend to look at them and maybe use them if they also are helpful.
Yeah, they're definitely very helpful, because with their help, it's basically run this, look what it's done, review the changes, then run that again, and try to build a package, fix the occasional documentation spelling, and upload. So it's pretty straightforward. And many of the things that are to be watched are being fixed. So thank you.
Well, thanks you for putting this all together with me. Good, so the question is, do we want to plan a sprint in the next year? Which is, of course, a bit of a difficult question, because we don't know yet how many COVID waves we will have. So Etienne has already been writing that he will try to attend the bug squashing party in Karlsruhe in October. And there's also a reunion in Hamburg again in the last week of May, where he says he plans to, or he hopes to attend. Me too. I have it in my calendar, and if the situation permits, I will be there. I don't know. I mean, we can also think about organizing a separate sprint, or we can try to go to. I think Hamburg is easier than Karlsruhe, because a bug squashing party in the sprint is maybe something slightly different. But
there maybe also be a snow camp this winter.
Snow camp?
I haven't heard of any, but yeah.
Well, just half an hour ago, no, actually it was at noon, the ideas about the snow camp in Switzerland. Yeah, I mean, personally I'm a bit skeptical about planning events in winter.
Because of the pandemic.
Yeah. Okay, but so far no one is jumping up and saying I want to organize a separate sprint. Is this right? So then I guess do I have a feedback now, or is this only me? So then I guess we can look at what other events happen. If this Swiss snow camp materializes, then let's see. And otherwise, I think Hamburg would be good to keep in mind. And well, I mean, in practice, it only needs that at least 2 people are there. Then it's kind of a sprint. Okay. Good. 10 minutes left. Git branch names. So there are a few things to notice, and maybe some thoughts to be had about it. One is that Git itself upstreams now warns when you don't configure the name of the default branch, and and says, yeah, I'm using master, but this might change, and you want to set the name explicitly, and we know that there are good reasons to go away from master. Then we also have this step 14, this Debian enhancement proposal, which has suggestions for Git layouts for Debian packages, which suggests Debian unstable or Debian latest. We briefly touched on this last year in the POF at the online DebConf, where the consensus, unsurprisingly, was that we should do this consistently across the packages, which is not the case because 90-something% still use just master, as we always done, but some people have adjusted to this Deb 14 proposal, and they're using Debian unstable or Debian latest or something, which is not so ideal if there are differences and at least one or two tools already were unhappy, which was easy to fix, but so I think question one is, do we want to do something about it? And probably we should, at least at some point. And if we want to do something about it, then we need, well, first a decision what to use, which is probably not so difficult. But then it needs to be done, and it needs to be done means then there are probably changes needing on 3,800 repositories on Salsa, on 3,800 repositories on a couple of dozens of our laptops, and probably changes in pkg-perl and in, I don't know which scripts, and it needs someone who coordinates all of this.
Yeah, that last part looks difficult, not that much the actual implementation, because yeah, there are 3,000 things, but we just can write a script that goes over them and adds a gbp.conf file and creates the branches and pushes the thing. Yeah, it seems difficult to decide on the name, I guess, and because both the alternatives are too long. And there is no shorter one on the horizon.
Well, I guess, I mean, taking something different than Deb 14 is probably not a good idea, to invent something just for us.
Right. But, well, if I have to vote for Debian unstable or Debian latest, I would take the Debian latest because it's a couple of characters shorter.
Okay, anyone against using Debian latest? Good, we have a decision. I mean, unless someone comes around later and brings good reasons, but I don't care, we just need to take something. So, and the more difficult question, who wants to look into what needs to be done and maybe propose how to do this and coordinate this?
Does it have to be a single person? Does it have to be a single person?
No, it doesn't have to be a single person who does it, but I think at the end it needs someone who grabs the others.
I would like to see this happen, so I think I'm an obvious choice for this, but I'm not sure how well I will handle it, so a bit of help here and there would be nice.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
It's good that you're interested in it, because that's more than I am. So if you ask me for help because you're interested in it, then we can do it together. And I guess there are some others as well who will help. Good. We have 5 minutes left, and the last topic is the fallback topic. Any other business? So is there anything else we should discuss? Anything else that someone would like to mention, to add, to comment on? there something on IRC?
Yesterday I saw a short demo by this friendly video guy in the back, who used some embedded device with
the other fruit. What was it called, Carl? Oh. what was
this shiny blinking thing? What was its name? Yeah, Circuit Playground Express. It's very nice looking, and it was using Python. That was sad. I mean, I would really love such thing using Perl, and would be happy to use it to promote programming with the language I like. So I'm just mentioning it. Maybe somebody has something similar. That thing was very nice. You just open a file on the USB storage, save it, and it restarts and starts running the program. It's very short feedback cycle, and
Yeah, I mean, in a similar way, I packaged something in Perl for Raspberry Pis, which seems to be used but was not in Debian, so that people don't have to use Python for these things on Raspberries.
Did it work with the new Pis?
I've only packaged it. Okay. So, are we finished before it's 45? Any last words?
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, so thanks to the video, audio people who made this possible. Thanks to everyone who listened and was on IRC, contributed before. Etienne, Nico. Thanks to all of you here. And now we go to the group photo.